Hi, and welcome to the Quantum Creativity Show. I'm your host, Santari Green, broadcasting to you from Burgess Hill in the UK, with my co-host, Cezarina Trone, who's broadcasting to us from Cincinnati, Ohio. So welcome to the show, Cezarina.
Hi, Santari. I'm happy to be here again.
So would you like to introduce your friend sitting next to you?
Yes, my dear friend Bob Pawlowski is here with me today. We're both located in Cincinnati, and this is exciting because I've never done this before. I usually, everyone sees me by myself behind, with this beautiful sunflower background behind me, and today it's a little bit different. It's a special interview. It's a special project. It's a special new adventure we're on. So I'm very thrilled to share with the world what we're up to.
So would you like to introduce what it is that you're up to?
Well, we could start by calling it our special project, our special, vision has started about 2 years ago. And, I could maybe let Bob say a little bit about how he met me and how we connected and why we connected then, and how it's really very timely now for us, looking at some of the trends and the patterns and the higher consciousness and the awakening of everyone's life to a better understanding of who we are and leadership and inner power and really stepping into the new versions of who we are creatively, which our show is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So
sure, yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. My name is Bob Pawlowski, and I was working in corporate America. I was working at a large healthcare organization a few years ago, and was taking some yoga classes just for my own personal stress reduction. But my job in the corporate world was to work with employers to help manage employee stress, focused on health and productivity. And so I was all about trying to find ways, mindfulness, yoga, trying to find techniques and tools and modalities that we could bring into the workplace to help reduce or alleviate employee stress levels. And so I took this class that Cezarina was leading, and it was wonderful. It was amazing. It was gentle. It was relaxing. It was soothing. She used some aromatherapy. She massaged our feet. And after one class, I walked up to her and I asked her, hey, did you ever think about taking these classes, this type of class, to corporate America? And that's how we met. And so she was all excited about it, and I was all excited about it, so we agreed to have a coffee later and talk more about it. So that was, long story short, it was a great meeting, and we've been talking about launching a business together called Cincinnati Corporate Yoga for the past 2 years that incorporates this type of yoga that we can actually take to the workplaces.
So I understand you've developed some programs around Cezarina's yoga practice. Would you like to talk about those programs?
Sure. How about if I talk about two and Cezarina talks about two, because we really made it into a four-blocker. And that was kind of the evolution of what we called Cincinnati Corporate Yoga. And so it started with the yoga, and at first it was just like 4 or 5 different types of yoga classes. One focusing on just, again, the first class I went to of Cezarina was that gentle relaxation type of yoga. And then we thought maybe a desktop yoga, something that people could actually just do at their desk. And then another one was called yoga for suits. So in other words, people that don't want to get sweaty. Just a real, 7 or 9 yoga postures and a lot of breathing. So people can just refresh during the course of the day, but have maybe a 20-minute experience and kind of fully realize the benefits of yoga while they're still dressed up in their suit. And then Cezarina came up with a great idea saying, how about those newbies, those people that haven't done yoga before or are kind of put off by the term yoga? And how about if we have a fun one called I Can't Touch My Toes Yoga? A class that really is focused at maybe aging baby boomers or people saying, it's not for me. And with that title, maybe we'll attract those people to go ahead and give it a try. So one block was just the yoga. And the next block was mindfulness, because while I was in the corporate world, I started to teach classes on mindfulness and got a certification sort of the John Kabat-Zinn type of mindfulness, the mindfulness-based stress reduction type of program. And some people wanted the full 8-week session, and some people wanted a more condensed version. So I got good at sort of making some adaptations to the program that was tailored to the needs of the audience, so to speak. So another one of our blocks is the mindfulness programs that we're really excited to bring into the workplace, because there's so much evidence out there on how effective mindfulness is in helping employees stay present and alleviate a lot of that pressure, a lot of that stress. So those are 2 of the 4, and I'll let Cezarina talk about the other 2.
Of course, I couldn't be happier than share some of my playfulness skill, which I've learned from the children, working with children, and with the programs I do with them. So my role was to sort of start having these playful experiences with Bob, and learning how to put that together in a program, and sharing with him some of the things I've done in Tuscany this summer when we had our retreat. We were able to flow with our own higher intuition, higher wisdom, and from moment to moment know what the plaything was to grab or do or use. And a lot of that is part of my own self-training for years now, since living in Africa and teaching to children there, and then here. It's been this amazing highlight of my life, this nurturing quality of the inner child and playfulness, and that how plays in. And then I've done some research, we both done some research, and we found that a lot of companies, or some companies who are very open-minded, and they're really opening up to this whole idea that if there's a higher consciousness that they can bring in, they may not call it higher consciousness, they may call it progressive approach to leadership, or they may call it whatever they want to call it, a new paradigm in business, or a new wellness program. It doesn't matter what they call it. They're all open to what I saw was they're all ready and excited for more techniques and technologies for the higher consciousness. So of course I looked up and I found these beautiful stories of how some of them looked at the importance of play, and when they gave creative time and play and little breaks to their staff, their employees, no matter who they were, and where they were at, if they allow them to have that, everything changed. And we know, I mean, it's to us who have been practicing, it's no-brainer. But for some of them, they're just starting to scratch the surface, and that got me really excited. And I thought, oh my goodness, I could go in so many directions with this, from just a few minutes play and rewire your brain around that whole experience, and see how neurologically there's a wisdom there, and you really do change the quality of your brain and the quality of your life experience with it. Or you could do longer sessions where you have a circle of people and you experience different things, and I would bring in playthings, props, we've done it in Tuscany with coloring, we've done it in Tuscany with dance, we've done it in Tuscany with journeys, with everything that engages our senses, and then it's memorable to us. It's going to leave an imprint in our field, in our energy, in our mind, in our hearts, and we will remember it. It will really change and shift not only our day to feel better, but really our whole evolutionary process, because that's what we're on. We're all engaged in this, whether we know or not. So here I was bringing the play element and bringing in some of the tools of my Mirador coaching model, which I'm really excited to start sharing now with the world. And then the fourth part of the program, the fourth program for stress release, of course, is happiness. You can't have, there's a lot of talk about happiness coaching and happiness sessions and happiness, but you can't really enjoy that inner happiness or inner delight and creativity unless you do play. So they're all very tightly woven together. When we first started to talk about this vision, was mostly the big umbrella of yoga. But yoga to me is not just this physical thing that you do to feel better. It's always been more about the oneness of all source energy in a body. So, how do I take that big umbrella and explain or share as to others, and of course all these other elements emerge from it.
Mhm.
So we're looking at in our own way expanding the awareness that there's so much more besides corporate yoga.
Mhm.
I know more people are opening to the happiness and the play, and hopefully more and more will after they see that this is something they could use daily. So.
Is this your starting place, or have you actually gone into companies and introduced them to the various programs?
We haven't started yet, so we just formed the LLC and put together the website, so we're good to go. We've got the programs designed, and as Cezarina was saying, their programs are pretty much interrelated. They feed off of one another, so we do have a lot of confidence that we're kind of ready for the marketplace. But we are looking for that starter, that first one. We set our intention to attract the right companies, the companies that are progressive, that are kind of the right fit for us, and so we can get our feet wet. We're going to probably learn a lot on the job, so to speak. But we're excited, and that excitement and that passion, that goes a long way.
Do you see yourself doing these programs on-site or off-site?
Mostly on-site. So far, again, my experience in the corporate world is a lot of companies now have pretty good settings, pretty good space for yoga classes. Sometimes it gets a little challenging, but sometimes you can do groups of people, small groups of people in a cafeteria, in a boardroom, in a conference room. So some of it may be just being adaptable and being flexible and seeing what kind of a space accommodations they have. But mostly on site, yes.
I was thinking that perhaps you might think of doing some sort of presentation in a large hall and inviting representatives from different companies to come along and see you both in action and see what Cincinnati corporate yoga is all about, so that they get a flavor of it. Do you think
that's
that
a
might
great idea? That's a great idea. Yeah. Absolutely. We're looking for that marketing, and we're talking about how do we kind of launch and how do we do a press release and how do we get the word out. And it's so far it's just the two of us, so we got to be careful that we don't turn the faucet on and be kind of inundated. We do kind of want to start slow and like I said, get our feet wet and see how it feels.
Both feet in, dive in.
Yeah, dive in. Maybe that will be the way it happens. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to be the baseline here? You're going to be advocating certain benefits to people, and I guess you've got some sort of vision in the way that you're holding this. Do you see that it's going to be really just the two of you, or that there's going to be a team of people and you're the linchpins for that team? Do you see that it's going to be a franchise? How do you envision it growing?
Well, as of now, we wanted to make sure that we have the foundation and the alignment. And the alignment was the tagline, or really what really spoke to us from the beginning was the word lightness. From 2 years ago, when the word was not much heard around the, now it's a little more of a buzzword, but 2 years ago I didn't hear it much. Lightness as, how do we lighten people up from inside out, and how do we lighten their load as well? And we worked on that alignment and that foundation, and then our vision for the future as it expands is to carefully select and people who line up with the same vision, and they can come in and also take on some of these sessions that will be required or needed or requested from some of the places. And then we will be able to do more brainstorming, more creative work if that so comes into place. So we have some people in mind, but we are, like Bob said, excited to take it moment by moment and very consciously open up the field of possibilities and, in our own way serve the places we are here to bring the lightness to. And because we're located in Cincinnati right in this moment, that is our base. So we don't really know where it will take us, but we have spoken or talked about, you know, to allow the energy of it, allow the vision itself to lead us, to guide us, because it's not about just what I do or what Bob does and our gifts. It's bigger than that. We want it to be something that deeply touches lives, and you know, and it has an impact, as it's been having on us. Just coming together and almost every week chatting about it and being with the energy of it for these past 2 years, it's been very, very interesting journey. So.
Yeah, and that's a great question. We have had, as Cezarina has said, we've had a lot of discussion around how big do we want it to get, how fast. We do want to hold to our roots. We want to hold to our mission. That's very important. So we're not focused on growing the business right out of the gate so much as we are kind of holding true to what we're hoping to accomplish. We have talked about perhaps if companies are right for it, maybe doing consulting or coaching or some other type of programs that where the companies can kind of expand. I know some companies are wanting to change their culture, their workplace culture, and that would be very, very, very exciting to have an opportunity to work with a company to help them to change their culture towards a sort of a higher consciousness type of, because I think that's so much needed in the corporate world. There are some leaders and some early adopters out there doing that. There's some models, and so it's exciting to be kind of at this point where we can kind of look ahead and see what opportunities unfold in front of us. That's a great question. Thank you.
Well, I've got another question here. There's, I would guess, a real big groundswell for people to want to be healthy and to want to know really how to accomplish that. And I guess that you're sort of like saying how to be healthy, happy, and cultivate a sense of well-being without putting any medical claims down there, but sort of giving people an insight into it's what you do for yourself that allows you to feel healthy and happy and liberated in all sorts of different ways. So I'm guessing you're wanting to keep it quite simple, and yet at the same time having a very clear strategy for what it is that you're seeking to achieve and how to take people along the different steps of that path. Would that be true? Do you have a strategy for that?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that, as Cezarina mentioned, one of the things is to keep it simple and hold true and hold firm to our mission of bringing light into the workplace. It's as simple as that. We do understand that the corporate world does require at times data. We want to see what are the benefits, what are the tangible benefits. We talked, when I was in the corporate world, we talked about hard data and soft data. And the soft data didn't do much. People were trying to find the hard data that kind of proved the efficacy or the demonstration of the worth of the programs. So we do realize that we're going to have to start collecting data, even if it's survey data and testimonials, and start to show organizations that this stuff works. There's a lot of data out there around mindfulness. There's some data around the benefits of corporate yoga, happiness, the science of happiness, and positive psychology. There's more and more data almost every week around the benefits of that. Play is relatively new, so we can look at some of the data from the literature and incorporate that into our marketing, because we know that is required in some of the corporate work environments. But we're all about trying to keep it simple as possible and not, kind of get over our skis and get ahead of ourselves and overpromise and underdeliver. We want to do the opposite. We want to underpromise and overdeliver.
Oh, okay. So, do you have a website where people can go and find more information about what you do?
Yeah, it's easy to find. For now, the website is www.cincinnaticorporateyoga.com. And what we did is we put a little contact form on there. So even if they're not sure, if someone would like to have a conversation with us, a consultation, they get a free consultation, and they will be able to, to go on the website and fill out their, put in their question or fill out a request to speak with us. And then we will call or we will get in touch with them, and we will be able to assess, just ask them questions. Do you have space? We can come in and, we could have a class, a sample class, and you can see, observe, notice if this is what you want, what you need. Customize it for your staff, and just go from there. Because being very aware and conscious of what everyone needs to us, we don't want to be in a place that is not ready for us. We want to be in a place that can't wait to have us. They're excited. They want to try something new, and then we're excited to create something new with them. So all co-creational. So as we know, it's easier and easier when everyone notices and knows that it's a win-win situation. So you don't have to explain a lot. This stuff somehow works. This stuff is magical. This stuff, taking 5 minutes out of your day and stretching at your desk and breathing and closing and whatever technique we might be using, it's really doing wonders for that person, and and what they can get done that day. So. And it's just allowing them to practice and have the experience, because a lot of times everyone mentally knows that this is good. They don't take the time to actually do it. So we're learning that even with ourselves, it is a consistency and a discipline that still needs to be there to some degree for the flow of the creativity to be there, and the flow of everything else that they're looking at as having as a result out of this. Productivity, whatever it is they're looking for.
So I'll see if I can share the screen that you're talking about. I didn't have any success a few moments ago. Let me see if I can bring it up. Oh,
you got it. Excellent.
There we go. So
beautiful. Looks on the.
Do you think then you'd be having people wanting to bring you in on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis? Do you think, as you were just saying there, there's got to be some sort of frequency involved?
Yeah, definitely. I know that, if the conversation or the question comes to us, well, what is better? And I will suggest that they will do a weekly class, because I know from my personal experience, for me, I have to do this every day. If I don't, my body will literally scream at me and let me know that I'm out of sorts. But for people who are not used to have a routine, once a week, it's a really good start. And then once they get to love this, love getting in touch with their body, getting in touch with their energy, with their field, with their breath, with their own self, really, at all levels. The way the mind works, the way their creativity is flowing differently through their body, through their expression. Then they're going to probably give us some really good feedback, which will be appreciated. So.
So be prepared to set up more classes, more workshops.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So is there anything else that people should know about your offering as corporate yoga, Cincinnati corporate yoga?
Just that we're passionate, we're excited. We think the time is right. This feels like, I guess, that Buddhist principle of right work for both of us. And so I'm in this great position where I've had the experience in the corporate world, and this feels so enlivening to me. It feels so so fun. I think it feels just kind of honoring kind of our philosophy of being playful and fun and happy, and sharing what we have experienced ourselves, and sharing kind of what we know. So it's really kind of the dream job, if you will, and so I'm excited about it.
Yes, and for me, I already have the dream job of being with the children and playing. So for me, it's the new element of walking in new spaces and bringing that. So it's I'm ready because I've done it for quite a while and in a different setting, but now changing the setting or mixing the settings is going to be exciting. So.
I think you better start writing the Cincinnati corporate yoga biography. This is how it started.
It started long ago.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
For the future. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it from us for this week. Join us for another exciting installment on the Quantum Creativity Show, another occasion. But from Cezarina, myself, and Bob, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.